Welcome to my channel. If you're new, hello. I'm a balcony gardener in London, UK, and this is the balcony garden where I grow mostly herbs and greens and sometimes microgreens. Today's job is to move this moringa which I've been growing since June from seed. Originally I sowed 6 seeds, but only one of them germinated, and this is the only survivor. And moringa is a tree, and it has very long, deep tap roots. So really it shouldn't be in a small container like that. I made a mistake of using that container in the first place. But today I'm going to move it to the deepest pot that I have, which is this. This container I actually found thrown away by one of my neighbors. So I try and reuse, repurpose, recycle as much as I can. And I've been using it for planting various things. Currently it's containing some beetroot leaves, which I've been harvesting from for the last couple of months. So I'm going to move the beetroot. I don't know if they'll survive, but I'm going to move them to this container, which currently has some radish. Again, the container was full, but I've been harvesting from it. I was growing the radish almost like microgreens, and I was just eating the greens. So it's coming to the end of its life, so I'm going to harvest the last remaining greens and put the beetroot in here and put the moringa into the bigger pot. And that's the job for today. We are in July, almost end of July 2023, and this is how the garden is looking. So I've just removed all the mulch from the moringa. I found a few snails, so it seems to be popular with snails. And you can see they've left their marks. It's a sign of new growth. And you can see the roots or the base of the stem more easily this way. It feels quite sturdy already, quite strong, but I'm going to be very careful in moving it across. And I'm going to also try and recover the other 5 seeds that didn't germinate, and just try my luck by moving them across as well, just in case they prefer the other container. So that's the next stage. And here is the pot that had the beetroot. There's been a change of plan. I just pulled out all the beetroot instead of trying to move it across, because it just wasn't, it looked like I was gonna lose all of them. It wasn't easy to move across, so I've just harvested the rest. Done. I just moved a whole section of it from here. I cut widely around the plant, moringa, and just slowly moved it across. So hopefully I didn't cause any damage. I couldn't even see the roots. Everything was covered with soil. And this is where it used to be. So hopefully I've done a good job of moving it. I really wish that I had planted it in this container to begin with, to save all this trauma for the plant. Hopefully it will get used to its new home and and keep going, keep growing, go from strength to strength. We still have rest of July and August and hopefully September, some warm weather, and if it does start getting cold, then I'll move it indoors. Now the next job is to find the other 5 seeds that didn't germinate, but I don't know if I'll have any luck, but I'll try. All done. The container is in place in the corner of the garden that receives the most sun. That's the prime real estate for this particular plant, because the amount of sunlight I get, direct sunlight, is quite limited here. I'm surrounded by tall buildings, and in summer, on a good sunny day, I'll probably get maybe 4 hours of direct sunlight, usually in the morning. And I covered it with some fresh mulch, new mulch, and for mulch I use the shells from pistachio and groundnuts. I've made a video about that if you're interested. That's how I cover most of my soil, almost all. Again, reusing and reducing waste, and it works really well because it's a natural organic mulch that eventually decomposes and becomes part of the soil, and I'll top it up. But what I've noticed is, what looks like some damage to this plant, the new growth, especially at the top. I hope you can see the tip right there. That looks slightly damaged, the rest of the leaves as well. I'm hoping being transplanted and I moved across some of the soil as well will help the plant get stronger and maybe recover from whatever damage it's experiencing. Sorry that it's blurry. I'll try and focus it. So that's how it's looking. I'm gonna have to reorganize the rest of the balcony. I'm just gonna move a few things around, and we'll be done soon. It's taken me nearly 2 hours, actually just over 2 hours, but all the jobs are done. And the balcony is looking tidy, neat. And it was a really good chance to clean everything, prune back things that needed to be pruned, and move some things around. So while I was here, I topped up the lavender soil and fertilized it because it's in its growing season. It's been a while since I fertilized it, and I removed some dead parts as well to prevent any rotting, and replaced the mulch. So fertilized, soil topped up, new mulch, and pruned. So hopefully it should be in good shape for the rest of the growing season. And I've had a bumblebee and wasp joining me while I was out here, but they didn't really take much notice of me. They just continued with their work. And it was interesting to see the wasp again because I hadn't seen it since the bumblebee. I've made another video about this. So it looks like they're taking turns to harvest this lavender. Moringa is here in its new container, and I did in terms of the finding the other seeds that didn't germinate. I did find 1 or 2, but they were rotting away. There was just nothing to salvage. So it looks like this is just it for now. Fingers crossed this will continue to grow. Transplanting plants, I mean, I have no idea about transplanting moringa and whether they like that or not. I didn't even look into it because I just thought, let me just do it. Hopefully it will work out. I also cut back on this mint that's forever plagued by some kind of fungus or fungal issue. It always grows back, so I just again topped up, removed the mulch, the topsoil, and added some fresh used coffee grounds and replaced the mulch, and I'm sure it will come back. The calendula, I'm very pleased to see, is flowering. So I moved it further along so we can get more sun. I really want more flowers for the pollinators. I think calendula is supposed to be medicinal as well. I need to look into that, but I sowed the seeds a few months ago when I sowed the moringa, I think back in June, and it's now flowering. Cut back on the lentil, and I'm not lentil, nettle. And I'm going to make some tea. Actually, this is, still have it here. This is what I collected. So I collected all the new leaves, the meristematic parts, new growth at the top, to make tea. And cut this back, it will grow back. Sweet box, I moved forward, and that container, it's full of old soil and mulch that I've collected over the course of today. I added some coffee grounds, some carbon, some paper, so that's sort of my composting pile. I'm going to keep an eye on it, but I will have that container full of soil to use or reuse when I'm planting new things. By the way, I haven't bought new soil for about three years, maybe 2.5 years, because I just keep reusing and moving things around. So that's another interesting thing about doing this, is really once you don't have to invest much. Once you've got your soil and got started, you can reuse soil, mulch, repurpose things. So I haven't spent any money on soil for at least 2.5 years. I just keep reusing, recycling. And I also cut back the longleaf plantain, cleaned it up, there's some new growth, so that should be happier. Cut back some more on this nasturtium. I really hope it recovers, and I will have a new video separately dedicated to this and how I've been harvesting flowers the whole summer. But for now, I've just drastically cut it back. I have heard of a rule that you should really not remove more than 1/3 of a plant, and I've removed most of it, maybe 2/3 of this plant, maybe even more than that. So I don't know if it will come back, but it just looked like it needed some serious pruning. And I've put some seeds back in the soil, so hopefully I'll get some new growth. But that's it for today, end of July 2023. Balcony is, this is probably the most I'll do until autumn, maybe end of August. And because we've got more rain forecast over the next 2 weeks, I don't even need to do much watering here. So very pleased with all the work I got done today, and especially repotting the moringa. Wish me luck. Hopefully the moringa will keep growing, and the rest of the garden will get through the next few weeks of summer with no issues. Thank you for watching. Bye.